Hello and welcome to Sutton Inspirations with Dale. Hopefully I can inspire you, and before it's over, we can inspire each other. Let's have an inspirational moment. What do you hear? What do you hear? Do you hear victory? What do you hear? Do you think about the things that you have prayed for? Do you hear answered prayers? That's what we are talking about. The victory and the things that you hear. Not with your physical ear, but with your spiritual ear. What do you hear? Do you hear all of the answered prayers? Do you hear things that you have been asking God for and now those doors are opening? What do you hear? Do you hear things that are whispering in the shadows and you say, it's going to happen? That's what you should be hearing. So there's nothing else that you should be hearing other than the things that you have promised yourself that you're going to do. What about a vision board? Do you have a vision board? So what do you see? Do you see all of those things that you asked for? It's going to happen for you. What about the things that you said a long time ago? See, that's what happened to me. Things that I asked for a long time ago when I just was writing things down in a journal. Well, actually, it was a tablet. I didn't have a journal. I had a tablet, just like your regular composition tablets that we have. So during that time, I had a tablet. And I was writing down all of my goals, writing down all my dreams in the 11th grade. And now who in the world would have thought that these things that I prayed for and asked for a long time ago are happening? I prayed about being a writer, wrote it down, and now I'm writing. Not only writing, but publishing. So what are you listening for? What do you hear? Do you hear all of your promises that you wrote down a long time ago? Do you remember having a diary? And then in that diary, you wrote down those different things that you had, and you said, well, okay, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to keep this to myself. That was your secret place. Things that you didn't want anybody else to know about. Thank you for joining. Things that you didn't want anybody else to know about. Something that you wanted to keep sacred, keep it to yourself. And then years later, it happened. So that's what you have to think about when I say, what do you hear? What is the victory that you have been praying for a long time ago? And then now it's here. Just like with me, I can say that I was at one point wanting to move to a certain place. I wanted to leave Alabama at one point. I thought I was going to be at Texas A&M, to be honest with you. But I didn't go to Texas A&M. But I did end up later, years later, end up moving and became a resident here now in Texas. So what do you hear? Do you hear all of the things that you can speak over your own life and speak over yourself, and it becomes victory? Your victory is what you hear. Not what somebody else says. Don't worry about them. They don't know what your vision is. They can't always see what you see. I can remember a friend of mine told me, he said, well, you got to think about this. The vision wasn't given to that person. It was given to you. So that's why sometimes it seems like nothing else seems to bother the crowd that's around you. It only bothers you. That's because that might be your assignment. So what do you hear? Do you hear yourself saying negative thoughts? Change that. No, we don't want to talk negative. We want to talk about things that are positive. So you have to become addicted to positivity. So switch that. Change it. Make a shift. Shift those thoughts. If you're thinking negative, stop thinking negative. Change that today. If you're thinking negative, get rid of it. Don't let that consume you. Listen for things that are quiet. Things that are still. Isn't that what God said? He said, be still and know that I am God. So if you just be still and know, then you're going to know that whatever you're asking God for, whatever you've been praying for, it's going to happen. So continue to encourage yourself. That's what David said in the book of Psalms. I think it was the book of Psalms. Well, I know it's in the Bible. But he said encourage yourself. That you have to encourage yourself. So sometimes shift what you hear. You want to hear victory. You want to hear aspirations. You want to hear things that are going to tie in with your dreams. Think about hearing things that are goal-driven. So be a purpose-driven, intentional person. Think about things that can inspire you. And yes, I know the new phrase is life be lifing. Yes, and life does be lifing. But while life is lifing, Don't give up on life. When you have those things that seems like, or despair, seems like you're never going to be able to make it, think about hearing the victory. Because we are victorious people. We are more than conquerors. I'm sure you heard that before. That's in the Bible too. And so always think about how you can continue to push forward. Push forward. Hear your prayers as being answered prayers. That means start moving in it as if it has already been done. Thanking God in advance. You can handle any situation. It might not feel like you can handle it, but you are an overcomer. You can overcome anything. What if it's something as simple as trying to just change your location, change your dream, change your aspirations, change. Hello, Perry. Thank you for joining. So I'm talking about how you can think about what you hear as being victorious. So thinking about something that you are victorious in, you might not have it right now. That's the whole idea. That you may not have it now, but if you hear victory, then whatever you're asking for, whatever you're praying for, don't ever give up on you, because it can happen. So always think about ways that you can continue to have the mind to do things. So because all of our thoughts actually begin, whatever we're working on, whatever our inspiration is, it is wrapped in those quiet moments that we have, because we always have to think about things and meditate. Like God said, meditate day and night. So you have to think about things that you can use that's going to elevate your thinking, because that whatever the head goes, the body's going to follow. So you have to think first on things that you can do, not things that are out of your control, because when it's out of your control, then what you have to do is just give it to God. Because whatever is something that you can do, then you can work on you. Work on you. And then working on you, most of the times it begins with your thinking, your mindset. I was looking at a lady yesterday. She was reading, and she was in a breakfast area, and she was reading. She has her own podcast, and so Quita, that's her name. But she was listening to her headset, and she had her book, and she was so engaged in whatever she was reading. I said, what is she reading? What is she reading? And then when I looked at it, it was all about mindset. So you have to think about things that are going to uplift you. You can't, somebody else can't do that part for you. You have, sometimes they can say good things, but you have to be the one to actually believe these things. Just like here, I like inspiring people. I like doing the inspiration. I actually love doing it. I get excited about that time. Hello, Ann. Thank you for joining. I get excited about the time that's getting close to 6 o'clock, and I say, okay, I got to go on. Because I have really tried. One of the things you have to continue to do is you have to grow in your mind. Think about things that you can do in your mind to help uplift you. So that's why I say, what do you hear? Do you hear inspiration in your mind when you're thinking? Quiet thoughts? Do you hear positivity? Do you hear growth? Do you hear elevation? When you start hearing those things, that's going to get louder and louder and louder, because what's going to happen, you're going to start saying, okay, I feel victorious. Because even when I wake up this morning, I woke up this morning and I said, I feel good today. Just by saying I feel good today, guess what comes in the atmosphere? Positivity. So whatever you speak, that's what you usually get, because that's what the Bible says. It says you should have what you say. So speak life. So thinking about things that you can just speak life into. So what do you hear? Do you hear silence, as if you're not growing, you're just mediocre, not trying to do anything? Or do you hear victory? I say choose victory, choose life. Because when you start thinking positive thoughts, positive people are going to come around your life. You're going to not even want to have to deal with negative people. You're going to want to change your circle. You're going to find out your circle is going to start getting even smaller. So always find a way to be positive. That positivity will grow. Plant that seed of positivity and watch it grow. So always continue to love yourself for the wonderful person that you are. And I also have to say, I see Ann on, and she has her Venison Farm Market in Greensboro, Alabama. So make sure you go out and support Venison Farm Market. Get some fresh fruits and vegetables. And continue to always love yourself for the wonderful person that you are. And I got to always now have to say, continue to also pray for the people who are in Texas going through the flooding. I'm sure you probably have seen what has happened with the floods and all the different people who have lost their lives. So continue to pray for them as well. So always find a way to support other people, because when you start looking at other people's situation, you kind of like forget about what you're going through, because you realize that what you're going through is not as bad when you see that somebody else is going through something that's totally worse. So again, love yourself for the wonderful person you are. And I'll be presenting next week on the 15th at the Now Forever Conference at Plano Event Center with Region 10, a teacher's professional development. So I'm excited about that. And also on July 26th, I'll be back at Bronze with Bronze in a Book, Back to School. All right, this is Sutton Inspirations with Deb. Hopefully I have inspired you, because you have certainly inspired me too. Again, love yourself for the wonderful person that you are. And did you look in the mirror today? What did you say? Did you say, when I look in the mirror, what do I see? I see God's image looking back at me, because I don't like me, because I love me. Can't you see? Love yourself for the wonderful person you are. This is Sutton Inspirations with Deb.